today, we're moving in further into Unit 11. You guys did 11.1, which had to deal with the cross sections of 3D figures. So moving in further into our 3D figures unit, we are doing lesson 11.2, which deals with the surface area of prisms and cylinders. So remember, surface area is everything on the outside, so the area of everything on the outside. So picture if you were to get a Christmas present, everything on the outside that is covered with wrapping paper, that is all of your surface area. So that's what we're going to be looking at finding today. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at are our key points. So the key points of prisms and cylinders, the first thing is we're going to talk about exactly what we're talking about, surface area and its formula. So to find the surface area, I first have to find the perimeter of the base. And that's what this capital P means. So if you do capital P, that means perimeter of the base. The capital B here means the area of the base. So anytime you have a capital B or a capital something like that, that's what it's going to mean. It's going to be the area of the base and the perimeter of the base. So remember, P is going to be the base all the way around. So that's my perimeter. So that's what P represents. And then the area of the base is going to be everything mixed in between, okay? Same thing with the cylinder. So with a cylinder, 2 pi r is actually the circumference. So I'm finding the perimeter of the base and multiplying it times the height, and then adding 2 of the circles, or 2 of the areas of the circles, because I have 2 circles on top and bottom. And so these are the 2 formulas that we're going to use today, and then we're going to delve into it. I'm going to show you how this works. So let's look at example number 1. Okay, so right now it says we need to find the surface area of this figure below. So right now we have a prism, because if you look, all these shapes are made up of rectangles or triangles. And if you look, you got to understand that when I'm talking about the base, I mean my 2 parallel sides. So if you look, my triangle here and my triangle here are the 2 parallel sides. So right now my triangles are my bases. So I have a triangular prism. So right now we're going to end up using that formula again. So let me write out. So to find surface area, I am going to do the area of, or the perimeter of the base times L, which is going to be end up being your height, or times H, which is the height in between those 2 bases. And then I'm going to add 2 times the area of my base here, okay? So right now let's go ahead and look. My perimeter of my base of my triangle is going all the way around here. So this looks like 6, this looks like 5, and this looks like 10 here. So, or is that an 8? I think that's an 8 actually, 6, 8, and 10. Yeah, because that's a 3, 4, 5, yeah. So that's 6 and 8, and then this is going to be 10. So 6 plus 8 is going to end up giving you 14, plus 10 is going to give you 24. So my perimeter of my base is 24. And now the height is the distance in between the 2 bases. So the distance between the 2 bases is going to be 5. And then I'm going to do 2 times the area of the base right now. So right now I technically have 2 triangles as my bases, right? So I have to do 2 times 1/2. The base of my triangle is 8. The height of my triangle is 6. And so now literally all I have to do is multiply all that out. So 24 times 5. 24 times 5 is going to give you 120. 8 times 6 is going to give you 48. Divided by 2 is going to give you 24. Then times 2 is going to make it back into 48. And then 120 plus 48 is going to give you 168, and that is going to be centimeters squared, because that is going to be everything all around, and it's going to be area. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, I noticed I had a prism, I recognized my base, and then I plugged it into the formula and I found my area, okay, or my surface area. So now let's go ahead and look at example number 2. All right, so right now on number 2, it says we need to find the surface area of the figure below. So again, I have a prism, because if you look, I have all of my sides are made up of rectangles and squares, so this is going to be a type of prism here. So I'm going to use that same formula. So to find surface area, I'm going to do the perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. So right now, if you look, my perimeter down here is a rectangle. So this is 6, this is 3, this is 6, and this is 3. So 6 and 6 will give me 12. 3 and 3 will give me 9. 9 and 12 is going to give me 21. So that is the perimeter of my base. The height is in between the 2 bases. So the height in between the two bases is going to be 4. And then I'm going to add 2 times the area of the base because I have 2 bases here. So I'm doing 2 times the area of a rectangle. So 2 times base times height, which is going to be 6 times 3. Okay, so this is going to be the formula that's going to give me my answer. So 21 times 4 is going to give me 84. So 2 times 6 times 3 is going to give me 36. And then 84 plus 36 is going to give me 120. And that is centimeters squared because I'm doing everything in squared units. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the surface area of my rectangular prism here. Let's jump over to example number 3. Okay, so now on example number 3, I am given a cylinder here. So that means the surface area of a cylinder here is going to end up being surface area is going to be equal to, 2 pi r times the height. And then I'm adding 2 times the area of the circle, or 2 circles. Because look, I have the circumference of my circle, and then multiplied by the height. And then I'm doing 2 areas of my bases because I have 2 circles as my bases. So let's go and plug everything in. So right now I'm doing 2 times pi. My radius is going to be 4. And I'm multiplying that times the height, which is 10. And then I'm doing 2 times pi. My radius is 4 again, and I'm squaring that. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do all this in terms of pi. So I'm going to multiply everything and do all the operations with pi as a variable here. So 2 times 4 is 8, times 10 is going to be 80, so that's going to give me 80 pi, plus 4 squared is going to give me 16. 16 times 2 is going to end up giving me 32 pi. And then look, I can just add those together. So 80 plus 32 is going to end up giving me 112 pi. So that would be my answer in terms of pi. But if I wanted to find my actual decimal answer, I would do 112 times pi, which is going to end up giving me 351.86, and that's going to be inches squared. So that means there's 351 squared units that could fit all the way around my cylinder there, ladies and gentlemen, okay? All right, let's jump over to our last example. Okay, so now on the last one, it says we need to find the surface area of the figure below. Again, we have a cylinder, so I'm going to be using the same formula as earlier. So again, I'm going to do surface area is equal to the circumference times the height, or circumference of the base times the height. And then I'm going to be adding 2 times the area of the base, which is 2 times pi r squared here, okay? So right now, if you look, it looks like the distance all the way across my circle is going to be 10. So my radius is going to be 5. So I'm going to plug that in for my radius. So I'm going to do 2 times pi times 5 times my height, which is 15. And then I'm going to be adding 2 times pi. Again, my radius is 5 squared. So I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one. I'm going to work everything out in terms of pi, and then I'm going to solve for it final. So it looks like 2 times 5 is 10, and then 10 times 15 is going to be 150 pi. It looks like 5 times 5 is 25, times 2 is going to give me 50 pi. 150 pi times 50 or plus 50 pi is going to give me 200 pi. So right now this would be my final answer in terms of pi if I'm not actually multiplying that. So if I do 200 times pi, that's going to end up giving me 628.32, and that's going to be centimeters squared. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, surface area is going to be all the way around. So everything on the outside, think of it as if you're wrapping it with wrapping paper. How much wrapping paper or surface area would that fit around that shape, okay? So take this info. If you're needing any help, call me over. I can explain a couple of more things if you need be. Other than that, good luck on your skill check. Let me know if you need any help.